Safe to say, the return to Soldier Field has been an absolute failure.
So says Tyrus Rose of CF97. Do you agree, Fire fans? Do you agree, soccer fans? Has this Soldier Field return for the Chicago Fire been steeped in failure since the beginning? Let's get into it. What are the reasons do you think that Soldier Field might not be experiencing the surge of attendance for Fire fans that executives predicted would happen when they made the move? I think that there are a number of reasons that are affecting attendance and the popularity of Chicago Fire in the city of Chicago. Also, in the comments below, please let us know if you have any of your own ideas. We love to read your ideas and comments as well. I think one of the big things going against the Chicago Fire is the fact that they are the low man on the totem pole. They're below the White Sox, below the Cubs, the Bears, the Bulls, the Blackhawks, all of those teams before anybody gets to Chicago Fire. Now, there are a lot of soccer fans in Chicago. It bears out when Messi comes to town. When Messi comes to town, when some of these big teams come to town, or it's a US versus El Tri situation, you see Soldier Field get packed and amazing. The energy's there and it's awesome. It's spectacular. And what Fire fans want to see is an environment similar to those games, to those big ticket games. How do Chicago Fire executives make Chicago Fire tickets feel like that? Feel like the big ticket match. Feel like Zlatan Ibrahimovic is coming into town. Feel like Wayne Rooney is coming into town, and you got to get this seat and you got to get these tickets and see these guys play live. How do they put that impetus in you? Well, they go out and they get a guy like Shaqiri. Is that enough? I think on paper, yes, it is. It is enough, but there are more things that need to be added to the equation for Chicago Fire to find success with attendance, with fans of Chicago, to resonate with people on the radio and sports TV, so that there's a discussion generated in Chicago. Well, and as you guys all know, we generate that discussion here on Spitting Fire all the time with you guys. We greatly appreciate you guys supporting the show and supporting soccer content here on YouTube. But in addition to going against some of the bigger teams in Chicago and the bigger sports in Chicago, the bigger draws, the more established draws in Chicago sports territory, the Chicago Fire have a couple other problems that are stopping them from having success. Things like not having a fantastic infrastructure for years upon years, having a lack of competitive training area, I think also hurt them. A lack of competitive teams has hurt them. Constant turnover and a fluctuation, so to speak, of support for their youth teams and their youth academies. And the way that has changed has just slightly affected how youth has been coming through the ranks here at Chicago Fire. I mean, look at Georgia Mihailovic having success over at Club de Foot Montreal. But also you have Gaga Sonina here, and you have some other rising talents like Mauricio Pineda, Brian Gutierrez, and some of the other young guns that have been popping up on MLS Next 2 and Chicago Fire and as well. So there are successes to be had and successes in the future in store for Chicago Fire when it comes to youth development. But where was that 5 years ago? We had that, but it didn't seem like it was really the focus of the club. It now has become a focus of the club, and I feel like you're starting to see those results in a more. You're starting to see those results bear fruit, and that's what you need to see. But here's the thing: we're only a few years into that mode, and Chicago Fire fans want results now. Now, there are teams out there in MLS that have been doing that for the last decade. Chicago Fire are behind a lot of MLS in many regards. And I think that is what is very hard for us as Chicago Fire fans to come to terms with. I mean, look at the Bears. The Bears, as elite of an organization they are in Chicago, truly are behind the times in NFL. in a similar regard. They have a mom and pop institution, and that has hurt their team build. That has hurt their chances to get to the top, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who also have a mom and pop situation. But the way they are run is so completely at odds and different than what is run at Chicago with the Chicago Bears and the McCaskies. So too is that with Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire has had Nelson Rodriguez being the steward for the club for a while. Joe Mansueto comes in, buys the club from Andrew Hauptman, who was really only using it probably for it didn't seem like it was a priority. The Chicago Fire were a priority, and nor was winning a priority for Andrew Hauptman. All the same, I'm sure I know that there are people out there that have good words to say about him, but also there are people that have unkind words to say him. We're neither here nor there. It's just the fact that the team, while it was under his ownership, did not have significant amounts of success. It did bring in some cool marquee players, Cuauhtémoc Blanco, for instance, but the success was not there for Chicago Fire, despite some of those marquee players and fun names coming to come play here. I mean, Didier Drogba could have been a name that came here, but ended up not coming here because of reasons. What are those reasons, and have those reasons left Chicago? I don't think they entirely have. We're squeezing out the bad part of the toothpaste, so to speak, the crusty part of the toothpaste, and getting to the good new stuff, which will be good for brushing your teeth. We still got it yet to get rid of all of the crusty toothpaste in that tube and clear it all out and reinstall this new infrastructure. Now, new bones are here all over, but the flesh has not grown over these and gotten to the point where you can go out there and get to playing and get to fighting and get into shooting balls and passing and playing with your mates again. It's just not strong enough. There are too many other more well-established teams in MLS that Chicago Fire are going up against, and I think that some fans are starting to come to terms with it, and other fans have not yet realized this. That's one issue. But the other thing is, it's hard to come to terms with that because you think as a name as big as Chicago, and with a billionaire at the helm like Joe Mansueto, money should be able to mitigate and solve a lot of these problems. Now, money does, but time is needed as well. Now, when we talk about the time factor, we got to also calculate Georg Heitz's tenure into this. Chicago Fire have not had success under Georg Heitz, with whether it was with his coach with Rafa Wicki or his current coach right now in Ezra Hendrickson, who they're sitting in last place at the moment. However, we have not seen a full season out of Ezra Hendrickson, so it is truly unfair to judge him at this point because he had some early success. But is it too soon to judge Georg Heitz? Now that's a question, chat. That's a question I would like you guys to comment below. Is it too soon to start looking at Georg Heitz as a possible problem here, or is the problem still deeper than that, and only time will solve some of these problems? Chicago Fire, I don't know. I'm asking you fans. I'm curious to know. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the situation. Interesting comments here from Willie saying their research said that by moving to Soldier Field, they would haul in a key demographic that was just refusing to go to Bridgeview. I think they've lost a key demographic that is just now refusing to travel to Soldier Field. Pick your choose, right? But like the Great Recession derailed the move to Bridgeview, the pandemic also slightly derailed the Soldier Field move. Now pair that with struggles on the field and not landing your marquee name player until 3 years past the move. Chicago Fire have been there since 2019. They only just landed the true marquee name player in Xherdan Shaqiri. The name that some fans in Chicago go like, oh, I've heard of Shaqiri. But you know what? Not all soccer fans have heard of Shaqiri or are even that fond of him or think that they have to go see him. He's not the spectacle that I think the Fire need. The spectacle they need is a Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The spectacle the Chicago Fire need is so hard to and rare to recruit, but they have a billionaire. They have a billionaire, and they do not have the DP spots. They do not have the DP spots to mitigate that situation at currently. They've blown money on certain DPs. They really have. And who has blown money, chat? Let us know in the comments below, because who made the decision to bring in Gaston Jimenez? Who made the decision to bring in Nacho Aliseda? I'm asking, Who made the decision to bring over Xherdan Shaqiri? And is he going to be worth the money? I think so. I think that they still need to compliment him. But we've had people in the past come on the show and they say that Xherdan Shaqiri is not the ice cream on your waffle a la mode. He is the cherry on top of the waffle a la mode. You got a waffle, you got the ice cream, you got the whipped cream, and you got the cherry on top. And Shaqiri is the cherry on top. Where's the waffle? Well, I think Gago Sonina is part of that waffle. I think Rafa Chicos is part of that waffle. But I'm not sure who else is part of that waffle past there. Now, who's part of the ice cream? Maybe Jairo Torres is part of the ice cream. Who is the whipped cream? I'm not sure, chat. And who's the cherry? Well, that's Shaqiri. The whipped cream was supposed to be the striker, and it's not right now. We have a waffle a la mode that I do not want to eat currently here in Chicago Fire, and nor do fans want to consume, and that's why they're having trouble bringing people out to the gate. They're having trouble getting people to support the Fire. They're having trouble getting pundits in Chicago sports people to talk about the Chicago Fire, because guess what? They just aren't that interesting as a narrative quite yet. They are still struggling. They aren't quite there yet. And a lot of the predictions that we saw from MLS pundits at the beginning of the season pegging Chicago Fire to be in 11th, 10th place are looking like they're starting to bear out. So it is a concern here, 11 games into the season when there are still almost 23 games left, at least. 23 games left, at least. So can the Chicago Fire make a turnaround? Remains to be seen. I hope so. But do you think that they can? Do you think that they have the tools there? Do you think that bringing in Jairo Torres and Mueller is enough to push them over the edge to make the playoffs this season? And if not, is it time to reassess the move to Soldier Field? Is it time to think about moving back to Bridgeview? Is that even an option on the table? Would success follow a move to Bridgeview? Why even move to Bridgeview? Well, it is a soccer-specific stadium, for one. But if the Chicago Bears are moving out of Soldier Field and Chicago Fire get to become the sole tenant of Soldier Field, well, then you got to hold on to that, right? That would make more sense. And hold on to that and try and make Soldier Field your own. There are questions for Chicago Fire coming up here in the future. What moves should be made so that they can have success and they could attract a fan base to come out and support the men in red? They're out there. But right now, Chicago Fire's inferior product is keeping a lot of fans away. They have to solve that issue. I think they also have to solve the issue that they do not have a spectacle. In order to compete with Chicago sports in the city of Chicago, they need a spectacle on par with the Bears, on par with the Cubs, the Blackhawks, the Sox. Guess what? Xherdan Shaqiri is not a spectacle that's going to compete with any of those things. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is something of that ilk. Let us know in the comments below if you have an idea for a player like that. Maybe a Mario Balotelli also could be that type of spectacle that makes Chicago Fire fans and Chicago soccer fans and MLS soccer fans wonder, oh, I wonder what's going to happen with Chicago Fire today because Mario Balotelli is playing for the Chicago Fire. Think about it. Think about it, fans. All right, we're curious to hear your comments. We love to read your comments. Make sure you guys kick that like button, share this, and get the conversation go with other soccer fans. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Greatly appreciate any super thanks. You guys joining and unlocking and helping grow the game. We'll catch you on the next one, Fire fans. Fire it up. Later.